Thank you for joining me for today's practice. So today is going to be all about the hips, opening up the hips and also opening up a little bit through the upper body. So we're going to make a start straight away. Just make sure you're nice and comfortable, and let's start lying down on the back. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees drop open, arms a little bit away from the body. Closing down the eyes when you're ready. If for any reason having the knees open like this doesn't feel good, you could open the feet out as wide as the mat and let the knees drop in together. Just taking a few moments here, making any little adjustments, just so you can rest into your Supta Baddha Konasana for a couple of minutes. Noticing those points of contact with the back body and the mat. Allowing those points of contact to get a little bit deeper with each exhale. Just noticing the breathing. Following the breath in and out through the nose, or through noticing the rise and fall of your belly. And let's recall our Sankalpa. And there may be some days where your Sankalpa is about this practice or this day, or perhaps it continues to be a broader Sankalpa or intention for something you want to bring into your life, a way you want to live, attitude, way of being, or perhaps it's a more concrete goal. And when you're ready, just bringing the focus back to your breathing, slowing down the inhale and slowing down the exhale. And then on the next in-breath, let's bring the knees together. If you need to use your hands to help you here, just feel free to do that. Inhale to bring the knees together, feet together, and then as you exhale, let's open the legs back out into your Baddha Konasana. And once again, bring the legs together, exhale, and then inhale to let the knees open out. Just the last time. And bringing the legs together, and then this time let's open the feet out, hip distance apart, feet parallel, bringing the heels in towards the sitting bones. Opening up the eyes, bring the arms down by your side. Taking an inhale. As you exhale, peeling the spine off, reaching the tailbone towards the legs, lifting the sternum up, and then take an inhale at the top. As you exhale, let's roll all the way back down. Taking an inhale at the bottom, and then exhale, peeling the spine off. Inhale at the top, and exhale to roll back down. And again, inhale to stay, and then exhale to roll up. And let's hold it here for a couple of breaths. Trying to engage the backs of the hamstrings, inner thighs, just gently trying to draw it in towards one another. Taking one more inhale, lifting the hips up a little bit higher, and then exhale to roll all the way back down. Placing that right ankle on top of the left thigh, and on the next in-breath, we're going to lift up the hips once again, coming into your Setu Bandhasana, just with this variation. It's quite strong on this left leg, and this right hip really wants to drop down. You want to think about that right hip lifting up as the right knee drops down, trying to level off the hips. Press down into that left foot. Keep breathing. Take one more inhale, and then exhale, rolling all the way back down. Keep the legs as they are, and then let's bring the legs in towards the chest. Bringing that right hand through the center, threading the hand, and then interlacing the hands behind the thigh or that left shin. Keeping this right foot slightly flexed, and then try to bring the legs a little bit closer in towards the chest, and feeling free to just hold stillness. But if you would like to take a little bit of movement here, taking some circles in one direction. And then changing the direction of the circle. And then holding in the center, take an inhale. As you exhale, squeeze the legs in a little bit closer. And you might just want to stay here, but if you would like to take another variation here, placing that left foot flat onto the mat and trying to take this right foot into the forearm, or if you can, cradling it into that left, the nook of the left elbow, wrapping the arms around and trying to draw the leg in towards the chest. And then option to extend this left leg away, flexing that left foot, trying to press down through the back of the left thigh. Either stay here or inhale, and then as you exhale, lifting the upper body off, trying to lift the upper body to take a peek towards that left big toe. Keep drawing that navel in. Keep breathing. Relax the shoulders. Taking one more inhale. Stay for the exhale, and then inhale. Release it down. Bend into that left leg. Releasing that right leg. Just taking a moment, both feet flat onto the mat. Let's extend the legs all the way long, feet falling away from one another, closing down the eyes. And then let's bend the legs back up and swap it around. So place that left ankle on top of the right thigh, arms down by your side. As you inhale, press down into that right foot and lift the hips up into your bridge variation here. And this time it's that left hip that wants to drop down. You want to try to lift that left hip up as the left knee drops down. Keep pressing down through the palms of the hands. Ground down through the sole of the right foot. Stay with your breathing. Take one more inhale. Maybe lift the hips up a little bit higher. And then exhale, rolling all the way back down. And then bring the legs in towards the chest. Threading that left hand through the center, interlacing through the fingers to hold that right leg. On the next exhale, trying to squeeze the legs in a little bit closer towards you. Keeping this left foot flexed, either hold it here or coming into a bit of movement by making some circles. Changing the direction of the circle. And then holding the legs in the center, taking another inhale. Exhale to bring the legs in a little bit closer and maybe holding it here, or if you would like to, placing that right foot flat on the mat, taking that left foot into the forearm or into the nook of the right elbow, wrapping that left arm around, so cradling that left lower leg, and option to extend that right leg long, flexing through the right foot, either staying here or if you would like to take an inhale and exhale to lift up. Keep drawing the navel in, trying to take a peek towards that right big toe. Shoulders away from the ears. Take one more inhale. Stay for the exhale, maybe lift up a little bit higher. And then inhale, release it down, bending into that right leg, releasing that left leg, and extending both legs long, letting the feet fall away from one another, arms away from the body, closing down the eyes. And then let's bend the legs up, opening up the eyes, bringing the knees in towards the chest, hands behind the thighs. Either roll to one side or rock yourself up to a seated position. And then crossing the legs so you can come over into your tabletop position. We're going to take our dolphin here. So hands shoulder distance apart, elbows shoulder distance apart, knees together, feet together. And tuck the toes under so you can lift the hips up. Try to keep those elbows squeezing in. Crown of the head is off the mat. Setting the gaze towards the big toes. Find the breath. Keep sealing down through the palms of the hands. Taking one more inhale and then exhale, coming back down to the knees. Shift the weight into the hands to straighten the arms, separate the feet, and then tuck the toes under, coming into your down facing dog. And in your down facing dog, let's take a pedal out through the feet. And then lowering both heels down for a moment. Take an inhale to rise up onto the balls of the feet and take the heels over to the right. And then inhale back through center, heels over to the left. And again, inhale center, exhale to the right. Inhale center, exhale to the left. And then inhale center. As you exhale, let's walk the hands back towards the feet. Keep the knees slightly bent and we'll just hang down in our ragdoll here. You can take hold of the elbows or keep the hands down on the mat. Trying to let the belly rest down to the thighs. And allowing the neck to be long. Releasing the hands, open the feet out wider than the hips, toes pointing slightly out, and then we're going to come down into our Malasana squat here. And you can just take your prayer variation with the arms, elbows pressing out into the thighs as the inner thighs squeeze in. Or if you'd like to take the broken wing variation, let's take the back of that left hand to the inside of that left waist and right hand to the side of the waist. Allowing the hips to be heavy, lengthening out through the entire spinal column. Gaze is steady. One more full breath here. And then gently releasing those hands. Shift the weight to the hands so you can rotate the feet back to parallel, bring them back to hip distance apart. Just coming into your Uttanasana, let the head relax. Taking an inhale, stay for the exhale. And then walk your hands back out into your down facing dog. Let's take 3 full breaths in our down dog, holding in stillness. Thinking about the chest reaching towards the thighs. At the same time, those lower ribs are drawing in towards the spine. And then rising up onto the balls of the feet, taking that right leg up into your 3-legged dog, letting the hip open out and then bending the knee and just taking a couple of circles here with this right leg. Keep pressing down through the hands. On this next circle, just going to keep circling it and stepping it all the way to the outside of the right hand. Bring the right hand a little bit closer in towards the left so you can shorten the stance here. So coming into this lizard variation, thinking about that left heel reaching back, sternum reaching forward, taking an inhale, and then exhale to drop that left knee down. Just hold it here for a couple of breaths. Heads of the shoulders moving away from the front of the mat. as the sternum pulls forward. And then let's lift the left knee off, taking a few rocks forward and back. Make sure your hands are far enough forward so you're not over flexing into the hands there. Reaching that left heel back as the sternum reaches forward. And then let's take another, let's find a spot in the middle here. So heels drawing back, sternum's reaching forward. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start to draw that right hip back. So coming into quite this wide variation of our pyramid here, relaxing the back of the neck. And then taking another inhale to bend into that front leg, reach that left heel back. And then exhale, drawing the right hip back. And one more time, inhale. And then exhale, drawing that right hip back and holding it here. Try to engage both quadriceps, drawing the kneecaps up. And then let's bend into that front leg. Walk this right foot back so you can bring the right hand out to the side. So what we're going to do is shift the weight to this front leg, lift the left leg up, and then try to thread it through to come into a seated position. If that just doesn't work for you, just come down to the left knee and then extend that left leg up. Otherwise, we're shifting the weight into this right leg, so lifting that left leg up, inhale, and then exhale to take it all the way down into your seat. It'll take a little bit of time to find this position. So left leg is long, and we're going to bring this right knee nice and close to the chest here, so we're squeezing that knee in. There's about a fist distance between this right foot and the inner left thigh. If this is super strong for you, you could sit up on a cushion or a blanket. Use your left hand, take it to the side, and then reach the right arm up. Take an inhale and exhale to start to come forward over this front leg. You might just stay really upright, and that's totally fine. If you can, starting to come forward, option to hold onto this left leg. If you would like to start working towards a bind, you could use your left hand here to try to get this right shoulder in front of that right shin and take the right hand behind you and just stay here. If it feels available, you're going to wrap this right arm behind and then reach this left hand back, either hold monkey grip or trying to take hold of that left wrist. Take an inhale to lengthen out and then exhale, fold down. So just holding it here. This is Marichyasana C variation. Just let the eyes rest somewhere towards the tip of the nose if it feels comfortable, or you could gaze towards the right big toe. One more full breath. And then keep holding the bind if you've got the bind. Take an inhale to lengthen out and then exhale to release it down. Cross the legs, coming over the legs, stepping back into your plank position here, looking towards the top edge of the mat. Take an inhale. Exhale, we're going to come down knees, chest and chin. So diving the chest in between the hands, chins on the mat, squeeze the elbows in, bottoms up in the air, and then release the toes, release the belly, coming up into your baby cobra or cobra. Take an inhale, exhale, back through your tabletop and into your down facing dog. Take a breath in your down facing dog. Rising up onto the balls of the feet, taking that left leg up to your three-legged dog, letting the hip open out and then bending to that left knee and taking some hip circles here with this left leg. And the next time you circle, keep circling, so you step forward to the outer edge of that left hand, walk the left hand a little bit closer to the right, finding your lizard lunge here, reaching that right heel back, sternum reaching forward. Take an inhale and then exhale, dropping down to that right knee, taking a couple of breaths, holding here. Soften through the face. Try to relax the shoulders. And with our gaze, we let it rest and allow the gaze to be soft. On the next inhale, lifting that right knee off, and then we'll just start to take that shift of weight forward and back. Heel reaching back, sternum reaching forward. And then finding a spot in between those 2 points, taking an inhale. As you exhale, draw that left hip crease back. Draw the quadriceps up just to where as much as you can, and then bend into that left knee. Inhale, sternum reaches forward. Exhale. One more time. Inhaling and exhale. Holding it here for a couple of breaths. Trying to lift the navel away from the mat. And then let's bend into that front leg. Walk this left foot in, so you can take the left hand to the outer side. And then starting to shift the weight into this left leg, lifting the right leg up, inhale, and then bend into the left leg to thread this right leg all the way through. Hugging that left knee in towards the chest, fist distance between the foot and the inner right thigh. Try to lift up out of the lower back, right hand comes down onto the side, reach that left arm, take an inhale, exhale, starting to reach forward towards this right foot. And you might just stay here, or you might hold onto the leg or the foot. If you would like to, we're going to keep shifting forward to try to hook this left elbow in front of that left shin. If you can, wrapping slightly behind, or maybe reaching all the way back, taking that right arm back, monkey grip, or taking hold of the right wrist. Take an inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, folding down. Strongly engage that right quadricep. A long, smooth breath. Keep holding the bind if you're there, and then let's take an inhale to lengthen out, exhale to release, crossing the legs, coming over the knees, step back into your plank position, take an inhale, exhale, knees, chest and chin, release the feet, release the belly, inhale, cobra, and then exhale back into your down facing dog. Let's take a couple of breaths in your down dog. Come down onto the knees, sitting over to one side, and extend the legs out in front of you. I'm just going to turn to face you here. Bend the right leg up and just let the left heel rest in towards the groin. We're going to hug that underneath the right thigh in towards the chest, and you might be able to hold your forearms or your elbows, lift up out of the lower back, and then lift this right leg up. And from here, we're going to try to take an inhale to straighten this right leg to where you can, and then exhale to bend. And again, inhale to straighten, and exhale to bend. Don't worry if you're not getting all the way to straight. Inhale to straighten, exhale to bend. One more time, inhale to straighten. Let's just hold for just a breath here, shoulders relaxed, and then let's release that down. And we'll swap it around. Bring the right heel in, hugging this left thigh in towards the chest, and then lifting that left leg up, flexing the left foot. And then taking an inhale Try to straighten into that left leg, and you might gaze towards the left big toe, and then exhale to bend. Inhale to straighten, and exhale to bend. And again, inhale to straighten, exhale to bend. Last one, to straighten, and just try to hold here for a breath. And then let's release that down. And take the legs out in front of you for a moment, and let's take a forward fold, just a very soft one. We're going to come back into that position in a moment. Just a little breather. And then inhale, coming back up. So once again, let's bring this left heel in towards the groin, just standing down onto that right foot for a moment. And either you can repeat what we've just been doing, so extending and then releasing. If you want to move into a compass, we're going to hold onto this right leg and take this right arm in front of the right leg. So what we're trying to do is get this right leg behind the right shoulder, plant the right hand down, and then take hold of the outer edge of that right foot. And you might stay here, feel absolutely free to stay here, but if you would like to, we're going to start to straighten into this right leg, opening up that left side body, and then turn the eyes to look towards the ceiling. Keep breathing, try to engage that right quadricep. Taking one more full breath. And then let's gently just make your way out of it, releasing. Just taking a moment, just in your seated position, hands down onto the legs, closing down the eyes. And then let's open up the eyes, and we'll go the other way. So right heel in. And so either you're coming into our first variation that we were working with here, or if you would like to, hold onto this left foot, trying to bring that left leg behind the left shoulder. So as much as you can, left hand coming down, and then take this right hand holding the outer edge of that left foot, and then we're going to start to kick into that right hand, trying to straighten the left leg, turning the eyes to look towards the ceiling here if possible. Find the breath. One more full breath here. And then gently starting to make your way back out. Once again, just come into your easy crossed legs or Sukhasana. Rest the hands down onto the legs, closing down the eyes. And opening up the eyes, extending the legs out long. And now let's come into our Paschimottanasana. You can take a very soft variation if you prefer. If you want to be a little bit more active, press down through the backs of the legs, holding onto the big toes or the shins. Take an inhale to lengthen out, and then exhale, start to bend the elbows out to the side. Inner edges of the feet pressing forward. And then taking an inhale to come back up, releasing the legs. And let's make our way down onto the back, all the way down. Bending the knees up. Let's cross the right leg over the left, lifting the hips up, take them slightly towards the right, and wrapping that right foot underneath the calf as an option. And then let's drop the legs over to the left, opening out that right arm to the side, turning the head to look towards the right, feeling free to close down the eyes. Just thinking about that right hip moving away from the right shoulder. Take an inhale, bring the legs back through center and keep the legs wrapped here if you can, or just cross and shift the hips slightly back towards the left. And we're going to take an open twisted variation here. Open that left arm out to the side, letting the legs drop open to the right, and then turning the eyes to look towards the left, or keeping the eyes closed. And you can use that right hand onto the inner right thigh, if that feels good, just to gently help open it out. Trying to relax that left shoulder blade back down to the mat. And then let's take an inhale to bring the legs back through center. Uncross the legs, center the hips, and then let's wrap that left leg over, maybe wrapping underneath the calf. Hips moving back towards the left, and then feet off to drop the knees over to the right. Eyes towards the left or closed. Giving into gravity here. Noticing if there's any unnecessary effort. And then taking an inhale to bring the legs back through center, keeping the legs crossed. Take the hips slightly towards the right, lift the feet up again, and then letting the knees drop open to the left as you open the right arm to the side and eyes looking towards the right. Using your breath to try to soften with each exhale. And then let's take an inhale to bring the legs back through center, uncrossing the legs, bring the hips back towards the middle, hug the knees in towards the chest, squeezing the inner thighs together, sides of the feet together. As you squeeze the legs in, trying to press the back of the pelvis back down. Option here to extend those legs just for a breath. And then when you're ready, extending out into your Shavasana. Just letting the feet fall away from one another, arms away from the body, palms facing up. Taking a deep breath in through the nose and then sighing out through the mouth. And again, deep breath in through the nose, sighing out through the mouth. Just allowing the breath to settle back into its natural rhythm. Just allowing the back surface of the body to relax a little bit more with each exhale down towards the mat. Having a sense of the whole front surface of the body and the whole right side of the body, left side of the body, and the whole body together. Completely letting go and resting here for the next few minutes. Please feel free to stay resting here. Otherwise, starting to bring the attention back to the breathing. Just feeling the belly rise and the belly fall. And once again, just feeling the belly rise and the belly fall. Just continue to follow your breathing, bringing a little bit of movement to the fingers and toes, bending one knee up at a time and rolling over onto the side. Just taking a few moments, resting here. Making your way up to a seated position. Just finding your comfortable cross-legged position. Resting the hands down onto the thighs or the knees. Just continuing to stay with your breathing. And we've worked on some challenging postures today. Just know that the aim is not necessarily to get into the final posture, even though that can be something wonderful to work towards. We just work with wherever we're at, and in our practice we begin to notice how we're in relationship to whatever we're doing. And so when we create stress in the body, we might start to become, quite agitated or a bit angry, or however we might react. We might be reacting in some way. And our practice gives us the opportunity to notice how we're in relationship to what is happening. Are we trying to push, but when we need to relax back? Or can we challenge ourselves just a little bit more? So it gives us that opportunity just to see and check in. And that can translate into your everyday life, just noticing how you're in relationship to yourself in the moment, in relationship to someone else or to a situation. And you might have a little bit more space to choose how you respond. So however your practice was today, just know that it is nourishing and good for the whole of yourself. Bringing the palms of the hands together into your prayer in front of the chest. And bowing the head down towards your hands and acknowledging your effort to practice. It's always a pleasure to guide you through the practice of yoga. Thank you once again. Namaste.